Hello, I'm Anna Boydstun, and I'm here today with Mr. Ron Fernuik with the Texas Air and Space Museum in Amarillo, Texas. And we're going to talk about all the wonderful exhibits and artifacts that this museum houses and how it serves the Panhandle. So, Mr. Fernuik, thank you for agreeing to meet with me.
Thank you, Anna.
So, why don't you tell the viewers when this museum was established, by whom, and what purpose it serves to the Panhandle?
Well, by whom? We have very dedicated volunteers. We have a long time aviation history here. But initially the museum began as the Texas Aviation Historical Society in 1987 at Tradewind Airport. Subsequently they moved to the historic English Field hangars that are on the other side of the International Airport until the buildings really became unsafe for occupancy, and then graciously renamed as the Texas Air and Space Museum, courtesy of TAC Air and English Field Aviation. We've been able to occupy this space with the collection we have.
So, Mr. Fernuik, I would like for you to tell the viewers the origin story of this museum, who was involved, and maybe how the artifacts were acquired.
Well, the beginning of the museum, or the history here, begins with the Bivens Airport, which was in Amarillo, subsequently English Field, and later a desire to preserve that history. We've had an incredible, generous contribution, numerous aircraft and artifacts that have been donated to the museum. As a matter of fact, we have more than we can possibly display in our present site. To answer that question, through that contribution from Gavilon, we've been given 5.2 acres under roof on a 20-acre site.
Wow, that is impressive.
Our new facility will be passed by 740,000 annual air travelers and 14,600,000 vehicles on Interstate 40. Will draw a lot of positive attention to Amarillo.
So you actually have some incredible artifacts on display, especially this one right behind us. And I'd like for you to share about some of the notable artifacts that you have.
The aircraft behind us is a DC-3. Began as a C-47 for the Navy, then later became an FAA Airways test aircraft. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. We also have a NASA shuttle trainer, which was flown by Rick Husband on 49 training missions. We have unlimited Reno racer, Mr. Awesome, and then we have the Bearcat, a small biplane class racer. We hope to have racing events here in 21 or possibly 22.
That would be a lot of fun, and I understand that this is an ideal location, as it was back in the World War II days, because of the favorable flying conditions. Can you speak about that a little bit?
From the National Weather Service, we have 330 flying days. The terrain is essentially flat. It's centrally located in the United States. There were airports in Pampa, training fields in Pampa for World War II, Dalhart and Amarillo. Dalhart and Amarillo were B-17 training bases.
So what made Amarillo Airfield so unique that it was put to use even after World War II was over?
Well, Anna, as I'd mentioned, the great number of flying days here, geographically located in the center of the United States, and the terrain afford this for being a great training area for the military and operations. After becoming a B-17 base, it was a B-29 base, and then Strategic Air Command B-52. The addition of the 13,500-foot runway became a significant asset, which is still used today, even though not an active military base, for military training and an active airline industry.
So World War II significantly changed the Panhandle of Texas. Can you tell us a little more about that?
A lot was done to support and mobilize the war effort. I was flying with a rancher the other day. We came from Skellytown over an old railroad bed, and he told me that there were 139 tank cars supplying both fuel and oil to the war effort that came out of Skellytown every single day. The Cabot Frakes mobile rig industry changed to build gun barrels, large ship gun barrels. Agriculture supported, the oil field supported. Everything had changed to support the war effort. People work together. People learn to be mechanics, pilots, a whole host of industries that really changed the nature of the workforce too in our industrialized capabilities here in this region. A short story that I think is important to share is a lady had shared a story with me about her father who worked on hospital and troop trains 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. He never left Amarillo, but without that kind of support, where would we have been?
Exactly. That is a wonderful story. And I understand that this museum is full of stories of wonderful individuals who really sacrificed a lot, contributing to the war effort and beyond, even after. And so why don't you share a little bit with us about some of your veterans?
I think our most active would be have to be Jack Rood. Jack Rood flew the B-17 Miss Green Bay. He was a tail gunner. They flew 32 missions over Europe. He has quite a story. He was an avid aviator and started model building when he was 8 years old. He showed me one of the models his mother had saved. That was his first one he built out of matchsticks. Of course, he built many of the models here that you've seen already. I'd like to share an excerpt from Jack's book that I find a common thread in many servicemen. Quote, "I know one thing. While flying in bombers, I learned to pray. I know that was the big thing that got me through the deal. I think we all kind of reached in and found some backbone or determination or dedication or something that we didn't know we had. One day after a mission, someone mentioned that he'd said a prayer. Harris, our captain, looked at him and said, 'That wasn't necessary. I prayed enough for all of us.'"
The Panhandle has a rich history of notable people from this area. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Anna, if I took the rest of the day to tell you about all the good people here and all the sacrifices that have been made, I couldn't possibly share all of them. But I think maybe I might talk a little bit about our astronauts. We have 5 astronauts from this area. We have Rick Husband. He had a good friend growing up, Paul Lockhart. Both are from Amarillo. William McCool from Lubbock. Edgar Mitchell, Hereford, Alan Bean, Wheeler. And notable engineer John Aaron from Wellington. John was responsible for the continuation of Apollo 12 when they had a lightning strike. He knew the switching to make everything work. And on Apollo 13, after the explosion of the oxygen canister, he was given full electrical authority to bring the crew home. And he did, with limited resources.
It's phenomenal. There's something unique about the Panhandle region that promotes this ability in these kids around here. Can you talk about that?
I think I can. I've been in the Panhandle for just a little over 41 years now. I'd grown up for a while in California. I worked a little bit in the East Coast. Something I noticed here, when you have a flat tire, in 5 minutes you'll get 3 people stopped to try to help you. I think people work together. They care about each other. And I decided that it's a place I wanted to raise my kids. I did, 6 kids. It makes a difference. People care here. They work hard. They take responsibility, and they're happy to share that responsibility to help other people. It's a great place to live.
I love that about this area. So please tell us a little bit about why and how you became involved with the museum.
Anna, the longer I've been involved with the museum, I didn't realize the impact we have on education, feeding the pipeline, and on the industry here in the Amarillo area. It's a wonderful story, and I love to share it in our motto, as it were, sharing the wonders of the heavens and the inventions that take us there.
Oh, I just love that. And let's speak about the kids programs that you have and your emphasis on educating the public.
We've had a lot of school groups through recent years, but in the last 2 years we've been involved in Window on a Wider World. It handles all of Region 16 schools, and we have a lot of kids, and we teach STEM, sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics through an interest in aviation and the principles that cause aircraft to fly. It's wonderful, and we really get a lot of kids interested.
Please share the vision for the growth of the museum.
Anna, it's hard to summarize it in a few words, but we hope to do a lot, as we'd indicated, for education, but we'd like to continue with documentaries. We're trying to encourage air racing right here in Amarillo and promote a lot of activities that would draw a lot of positive attention, not only to the museum, but to the Amarillo area.
That's wonderful. What are some ways that the public can get involved?
Anna, we're always encouraging good volunteers to join us. We have great volunteers, but our numbers are few. And in the words of Will Rogers, we never met a donation we didn't like.
I love that. And where can people go to find out more information about the museum?
A good place to start is on our website, Texas Air and Space Museum, all spelled out, .org, and also Facebook.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna.